So the first things first, I like to obviously clean down the work surfaces and the areas where I'll be working. So once you've got a clean and clutter-free area, tie your hair back, especially if you've got long hair like me, because there's no question about it, if my hair's not tied up, someone will have an extra side dish of my hair. We'll start with the rice. So you can use any rice, you can use white rice, long grain, basmati, red rice. That's a new for me. I discovered that today when I was shopping in Tesco getting some of the ingredients together. I've gone for long grain wild rice. So can you see all the different colours there? Really, really important that you rinse your rice. Pop it in the container that you'll be steaming it in or cooking it in. So your your saucepan, or this is an oven proof dish. So I know that if I put it in the steamer, it's going to withhold the high heat and the temperature, and it's not going to smash on me. So for my chilli, we're going for the rainbow colours. Got a butternut squash, a green pepper, we've got a red pepper, a courgette, carrots, red onion, we've got some sweet corn, and of course we've got tomatoes. With all the different colours on offer here, we've got more nutrition. Try and get something in this dish that you've perhaps not been really keen on, or you've never had the opportunity to try. And if you don't like it, you can always pot it up and offer it to a neighbour or a friend. I'm going to make that bridge. So my thumb, my fingers, can you see that? I can put the knife through, hold it firmly so I know that it's not going anywhere. Yeah, so we have, this is a big tough one. No, we'll take that off first. Yeah, we'll take the ends off. There we go, get rid of that. Take this off again. This is a really good size onion actually. There we go. Get rid of that. What we can do is now peel off this. So we've got to the shiny part of the onion. So what you'll do is bridge again, hold it firm, straight through. Do not cut all the way down to the root. Keeping that intact gives you stability. So we'll cut to about 3/4 across the onion. So if we start in the middle, yeah, 4. So whatever size onion you go for, tend to do the rest of your vegetables about that size, because then it will all cook evenly, and at the same time you don't want some bits of veggies overcooked and some undercooked. You want it all kind of cooked to the same degree. So yeah, right, now here I'm going to show you another technique. There's lots of ways to cut. There's no right way, there's no wrong way. We're looking at safety, especially if you've got little people watching you. So we've got a claw. So we've done the bridge, and we've got a claw now. So the claw is, yeah, just like that. So the thumb goes at the back of the onion. So that acts as a stopper, so it's not moving anywhere. And then the claw, yeah, just like that. And if we took our fingertips under, we're not going to cut anything off. We're not going to. So yeah, we've got our incisions from the knife, can you see? And we're going to try the claw. So can you see that? The pepper now. So back to that bridge. I'm going to chop it in half. There you go. So with my recipe, we're going for the rainbow, just to please the little one. So we've got a red and a green, so they're cut in half. What I like to do, I think it makes it easier. Oh, that's just pinged. So use a big spoon, and we can just scrape out the middle part of the pepper. So that's one. Yeah. So what I tend to do is have a big bowl for all the offcuts and the rubbish. Saves me keep going to the bin or putting the bin behind me, because I'm so clumsy anyway. I forget I've put it behind me, I turn around and I've tripped over, and the contents of the bin would probably be everywhere, and it would just be more mess for me to clean up. So yeah, spoon, just to loosen it up. You can use your fingers or you can just scrape it out. Don't worry if there's some seeds left inside, because you can always just run it under the tap, or just, yeah, the spoon is really good, but sometimes you do get the stubborn seeds. So now we're thinking about our 5 a day. This is our second vegetable to add into our dish. So knife, remember that grip, yeah, and we're going to rock chop. Remember that motion. It's going to take practice. I'm fairly new to it. Because I'm focusing on how I'm doing things for this video for you, I'm more aware of what I'm doing. Whereas before, when I'm at home, I just get on with it. I don't know what I do, I don't know what skills I use, I just get on with it. So I perhaps don't do it safely all the time. So it's being conscious of what you're doing when people are watching, especially, as we said, the little ones. So for the pepper, we're going to do, so for cutting the pepper, we're going to do that claw again. So thumb, as you can see, that's not going anywhere. Fingers are tucked in. And we're trying to aim for similar sized pieces to the onion. So claw and that rocking motion, yeah? Just keep practicing, it will soon come. You don't have to use that one, we can go back to the bridge and do it that way. So we're nearly there. So we'll go in with the green pepper. Garlic. So fresh garlic, you don't need to use fresh garlic, you can use garlic granules, garlic powder, but just be careful with garlic powder because it's fine. You think that you're not putting enough in because it's small quantities, but it's like concentrate. Just in case I get a little bit adventurous and I want to put a little bit more in, I'm going to do 2, and that way I can show you again anyway. So really easy. Press, hear a crunch, and it just comes away from the peel, really easy. So there's 2 ways in which you can prepare your garlic, so I'm going to show you both. So you can cut again with the skills that we've just looked at. So we can do the rock, was it rock? Yeah, rocking motion, rock, forwards, remember to hold it. I always do the point with my finger, I don't mean to, it's Yeah, so there we go. So yeah, and then what you can do once you've cut it, think if you're going right down to use as much of the garlic as you can, just be careful with the fingers. Try to do what we've just looked at, tuck those fingers behind. It is difficult, but safety. Or what you can do, I'm just going to leave that for a moment. You can have one of these fabulous inventions. So pop one in, press, it'll come out the bottom. Get your knife, scrape it in, cutting it by knife. We've cut across, and then obviously you're not going to want to put big chunks of garlic in like that, are you? So with the garlic now, I know we said we wanted everything kind of similar sizes, but not the garlic. You don't want to have a great big chunk of that in your mouth, as much as I love my garlic. So what we're going to look at now is called the cross chop. So we've sliced it down. What we want to do, kind of like just what we've done, but we'll put our hands on the top. So we've cut it one way, yeah, and just cross. There you go. And you can just keep going until it's at the size that you're comfortable with. So just keep going, practice those skills. Yeah, just rock it, cross it over. Yeah, can you see how small this garlic's becoming? Yeah, so you just sweep the knife across it to bring it all back, and again just cross your knife over, bring it back. Yeah, so that's really easy. Or as we said, use a garlic press, whatever you prefer. What I will say is, before you go in on the board with your garlic, make sure your thumb isn't like that, because we all know what's going to happen. Keep your thumb out of the way of the blade, keep it tightly tucked behind. So as we were before, finger, thumb, either side of the blade, fingers tucked round, and just do that cross chopping motion. Yeah, this hand on the top. If you do that, we're not going to lose any fingers. So now that we've got our garlic, our peppers and our onions prepared, we're going to come to the cooker. So we want it on a nice medium high heat to begin with. A little bit of oil, not too much, you only want to coat it. So we've got vegetable oil in there, so we'll give that a couple of minutes to heat up. We're not going to put the garlic in with the onions and the peppers because it will cook too quick and it will burn. You want to listen to the sounds. I always say it's better if you've got a metal saucepan, wok, whatever you're cooking in, use wooden. That way you're not going to damage your pan. So metal, realistically you want to serve with your metal spoons like this. These are really to serve, these are really to cook. So if we're looking at quantities of the oil that I've just added to the pan, I would say no more than a tablespoon. We want to be a little bit conscious of what we're adding. We don't want to put too much oil. It's just literally to coat the vegetables and to make sure they cook nicely, get golden brown, and they don't burn and stick to the pan. So we'll give the pan a few minutes. Yeah, I can feel a bit of heat coming from there. So here are our onions and onions and peppers. Put them in, and already you can hear that sizzling. So I know that's good to go. Move that out the way. Just going to give that a gentle toss around, making sure that everywhere's coated. As you can see, I've gone for chunky cuts. Can you hear that cooking away nicely? So what you don't want to do is stand over it continuously stirring it. You want to just let it sit and let it do what it's got to do. So whilst that's doing, we'll go back to our chopping board and we can start with our rest of the vegetables. So you can still hear that's cooking away nicely in the background. So whilst that's doing, I'm going to start with my carrots. You can just wash carrots, cut them up, the same kind of techniques we've just looked at, same kind of size, and add them. But I'm going to peel mine, whether you want to or not. That's up to you. So I'm just going to take the top and the tail off. There we go. I tend not to waste much in my household. I've got guinea pigs, so I'm going to pop these in a bowl separately and I'll take these home. The guinea pigs will love them. So peeler, really easy, really simple. Hold it firm. I just downwards, just keep turning down, down. What I tend to do is wash my carrots again once all the peel's off. So yeah, really quick, really easy. Yeah, that's one. Move that around. There we go. Two. So now we're good to go with the carrots. So remember, when we're chopping anything, we want a nice flat surface so that it's not rolling and we're not going to have no accidents. So what we're going to do, I'm going to do a bridge again. So yeah, we're going over, knives going in the middle, yeah, in half, put them like that, they're not going anywhere. And then we can just, yeah, we can do the bridge, go like that, and then just keep bridging it, or you can just do that claw that we looked at earlier. So just like that, yeah, really simple. See, I'm guilty of doing it like that, I know. As long as it's stable, you can, or you can just go through the middle. So at least with a carrot you've got length, so you can just keep pulling your fingers away. Try to keep that motion with the fingers and the claw. If you can't, just keep them back as much as you can. So like that, or we can go through the middle. Flat surface, there we go, there we go. Just keep practicing. Now I'm back to my pan. As you can see, it's still cooking away nicely. I'm going to add that garlic in. There we go. My fingers are really going to smell now, but that's okay. That's what soap and water's for. See, that's just one clove. I have done a little bit more than the recipe card says because I'm feeding 4 and I hope for some leftovers to freeze or use tomorrow, so I'm going to go in with a second clove. We can always taste test it. It's better to add a little bit and gradually build up to get your flavours and go all in and just ruin those efforts. What I will say is, if you are using a garlic crusher, sometimes you can put a clove in, press down, not very much comes out. So what you can do is, if you think you've got it all, open it up, get a spoon, have a little scrape around, compact it to one side, keep going. If not much is coming out, put another one in. Yeah, you'll have quite a bit of wastage in there, but that's a good tip. So carrot prepared. I'm going to go in with my butternut squash. So this can be quite a tough vegetable to cut, so you may need to change your knife. Rolls around quite easy, so just be careful. Have a good firm grip on it. I'm going to take the top off. So if you can't get it all the way around, just keep turning it. Yeah, it makes it easier to cut. So we'll get rid of that top there. So same kind of size pieces, about an inch. Yeah, oh, this is a little bit tougher. So there we go. You don't need to use all of it because they are quite large. I've used 2 largish peppers, 2.5, well, 2 large carrots and a smaller carrot, 2 large red onions. I'm going to use about half of this butternut squash. It wasn't the biggest one in the shop. I did go for a smaller one. You don't have to peel it either. Just give it a good wash, the skin. So now they're flat. We haven't got to worry about those getting anywhere. So same with the skills that we've used earlier. We can bridge these. Yeah. Yeah, put those aside. Bridge. And again, we want similar size pieces. The carrots, the onions, the peppers. There we go. I've not really had butternut squash before, or at least if I have, I don't think I've had it with the skin on, so it's a new thing for me. So now I'm going to add carrots and the butternut squash to the pan with the rest of the ingredients. I can hear the onions starting to sizzle and the smells are lovely. So bring this over here. There we go, all of it in there. So that's cooking away nicely. I can hear the sizzling. So you just need to keep an eye on that. Listen to the sounds. That's quite important in cooking. Listen to the sizzling. Gives you kind of indication and how it's all cooking. The smells, noise. Just going to leave that there. We can start adding some spices now. So I'm going to start now with my chilli. So you can use fresh chilli, powdered chilli. I've got chilli flakes. Always start little. You can always add. You don't want to put too much in to start. Just gradually build it. As things start cooking through, you can have a little taste test. So yeah, you want it to be warm, not overpowering. So with the quantities of the vegetables that I've added, I want to add about half a teaspoon of flakes. So yeah, teaspoon, about half of one of those to begin with. If you're comfortable with around about that, that's fine. If you want to add a bit more. So I'm not actually going to measure it, I'm just going to sprinkle it in roughly. I don't really do estimates as much. I don't really do accurate measurements. I kind of estimate or guesstimate, if you like. So now we're going to go in with the cumin. Oh, that's a right good earthy smell. So with the cumin, whatever quantities of chilli you've put in, you want to double up. So if you've used half a teaspoon, go for a full one of cumin. You can, as I said, start little, build it up. If you want to add a bit more, you can. Just don't go whacking it all in to begin with. Give that a good stir around, working that cumin, the chilli. Let those spices gently warm up. Now you can just leave it alone for a few moments. So with your kidney beans, if they're in water, you haven't got to drain them, you can just add them. A little bit more liquid is okay, because of the seasoning, it's going to season it up. It just means it goes a little bit further. So with these kidney beans, they are in spicy tomato sauce. It says spicy tomato sauce, but on the front it says mild. So is it spicy? Is it mild? Just going to take the pulp off, open that. That can go straight in, along with tomatoes too. I tend to go for chopped tomatoes rather than plum, because otherwise you've just got to keep mixing it to break it up. My children, they like tomatoes but not plum tomatoes. So yeah, and depending on how many people you are feeding, you can also add a bit of puree, a bit of passata. I'm not going to, because there's quite a lot in that pan already, but you can do. There's lots of alternatives if you don't want to go in with kidney beans. You can use baked beans, that's a good one. Haricot beans, cannelli beans. You can go for chickpeas, black-eyed peas. As I said, lentils. We've got red lentils, we've got green lentils, we've got mixed lentils. It's totally up to you, but just think we want plenty of protein and obviously fibre, good nutrition, but it also keeps things moving when you go to the toilet, of course. And because we're not adding meat, it's quite good. Well, we need that protein, we need to look at balancing your meals. So yeah, experiment, try something that you've never normally tried. You'll kind of have the same chili con carne flavours, but it's just a greater alternative. And you don't have to use rice. You could use sweet potato, you could have it as a topping. Lastly, the last thing I'm going to add, because we was talking about the colours of the rainbow, is sweet corn. So that can go in pretty much last minute. Now that that's bubbling away nicely and all the veggies softening up, I don't want it too soft, I don't want it mushy, so just keep bringing it around, not standing over it. You don't want to interfere and just keep moving it, because it's not going to cook. Just a gentle swish from time to time. Just leave it doing that. You can go ahead and start washing up, start packing up. Yeah, so last things to add would be mixed herbs, sweet corn. You can have a little taste test. Is it spicy enough? I say spicy, is it warm? You don't want it overpoweringly hot that you can't enjoy it. You want it warm. You want it quite earthy. So yeah, I'm going to give that a few minutes. I'm going to start tidying up. I'm going to come back to it, check it, add those bits in, and we'll see how we get on. So the washing up's done. I've come back to our chilli. I've drained the sweet corn. I have gone for the option in water. You can just tip it in, but I think I've got enough liquid in there. So I'm going to put a full tin in. And can you see all those colours? Yeah. Give that a little mix around. So I'm going to get my rice. Remember, portion control. You don't want 3/4 of a plate of rice. You want to remember that nutrition chart. It's a carb, so we just want to go a little easy on the carbs. You can always have a little less rice. Get garlic bread in the oven. Oh, it smells lovely. It really does smell really nice. Oh. Can't wait to try that butternut squash, especially because I've left the skin on. Can you see that? So that's a really, really colourful plate. I'm just going to move that off that ring because it's still cooking through. So let it cool down for a minute or two and go in, have a taste. Ooh, so I'm going to try this courgette. It's not soggy, it's not raw, it's not too crunchy. I do like a crunch with my veggies. The kids don't so much, so I've met in the middle. So yeah, we've got a mix of the beans here. We've got kidney beans, we've got black-eyed peas, haricot beans, cannelli, I think there's some chickpeas. So I'm going to try the butternut squash. That surprised me actually. It's soft, like the inside, like the fleshy bit soft, but then the skin, it's kind of nutty. It's a nice balance actually. I don't know why I didn't think of that before. So for me personally, I know I've cooked it and we tend to be biased with our own cooking. I'd definitely eat that. I would cook it again, and because of the quantity that I've got there, I'm just gonna let it cool down. I'm just gonna pot some up. I'm gonna put some in the fridge for tomorrow. I'll have some for my lunch, in a wrap. Might do a wrap, bit of cheese, but then I'll freeze the rest. Freeze it. Just remember to let it defrost thoroughly before cooking. Put it on the hob. There you go. A little goes a long way, and it's quite nice to try different rice. I eat a lot of rice and it kind of just tastes the same. I go from long grain to basmati. I spotted the red rice today, which I will try at another time, but I just thought different colours, something new for the kids. We do eat a lot of veggie stuff, but veggie chilli, I was a bit on the fence when I looked at the recipe. I was like, oh, I don't know. 3 out of the 4 will, but that little one, he might really throw his dummy out the pram. But he picked the veggies. We met in the middle, so hopefully we'll have an empty plate from him. One last thing, remember to have fun. Don't be scared of the cooker or a knife. Just do it in your own leisure. The beauty of this is I'm not watching you. There's nobody watching you. Just experiment. If it doesn't work, you've tried. It has been at no cost to you. And you can do it in your pyjamas. You can have a glass of wine. You can get the radio on. You can have a little boogie. Just get lost with cooking. Enjoy. And yeah, if you've got any questions, any queries, you can WhatsApp me. You can give me a call. Send me an email. The next video will be coming in the next couple of weeks. So once I send out another video to you and the ingredient lists of what you need for that one, we can just get going. And yeah, let's see what we can create. I want to see pictures. Let me know how it is. Did you like it? Would you do it again? If you did, what would you change? Have you had a go at practicing those knife skills with the finger and the thumb? Is it easy? Do you find it uncomfortable? Just, yeah, enjoy